All right, y'all. We're about to talk about Kirk
And
Franklin's
so,
son, Mr. Kerrion Franklin. All right. For those of you guys that do not know, he is a part of the show Bad Boys LA. He actually had a really emotional moment on the show as he kind of like talked about his dad and the things that he didn't really go into detail about the things that they've been through. He just doesn't understand what side of the fence his dad stands on when it comes to his Christianity and things, and how he kind of pushes him away and doesn't really show up for him. So he's still battling and dealing with the dynamic of the relationship he has with his dad. And he was just up there crying, y'all. I just felt so bad for him. Um, I don't know all of the details, but I do know that he dropped a tape of his dad like cussing him the hell out. And he said that he didn't know it was gonna be he didn't know it was gonna go viral. He just thought that it was gonna do a little something, something, but it ended up going pretty viral. And I don't know if it affected any
he was
deals or
lying.
anything that his dad
I
had.
literally just
He was
said
lying.
lies. I literally
He was
just said
lying.
lies.
That's You had Kurt Franklin on recording, cussing you clean out. The congregation alone was gonna shut it. No, Kerrion is a very troubled, broken, confused person. And I do think that's because he probably grew up within the church system or whatever. And
Uh-huh.
because he is bisexual, I think he doesn't know where he stands. And I think because he doesn't know where he stands, he also does not know where his father stands. But I also feel like he is fully aware that if he put out a recording of Kurt Franklin cussing him out like a sailor, he knew that would go viral. He
Mm.
was lying. So he on that one part, I think he lied.
I'm sorry, but he's wrong for using his dad's name for clout. He's attaching his dad name to that BS show. He dropped that tape and said him and his dad doesn't get along. So why you using his name? Yikes! I feel like this could be his cry for help.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Maybe if he
Because
couldn't get his dad's attention
trouble.
before, maybe he's using this to try to, get his attention now or something. But I tell you what's really going to get your dad attention, but I'm questioning, wondering, is the fact that he was actually picked up due to what they say, a broken tail light or something like that. Come to find out, he was
Mm-hmm.
driving a woman's vehicle. It wasn't, I don't think it was registered to him or anything. It was registered to a woman that happened to be missing, who they are believing to be dead,
This
like
story
taken
is
out of
so
this
weird.
world by the hands of somebody else, and he's now being locked up for that. Say what, Jaylee?
It's I think it's weird that like how the story first came out, but like it's still like no actual information. It's like it's all like insinuation more than anything else. Because I feel like when he did a little interview or whatever, and if he was saying that he bought this car a year ago from whoever, I'm like, well, who would the insurance name you? Like, is the insurance in your name? If the car is registered to the girl who maybe with Jesus right now, like, who have you been getting insurance on it for past year? I just
Right.
wonder, like, what proof does he have that he bought this car a year ago? Because you at least have to have the insurance in your name, if nothing else. So it's like,
Right.
what proof do you have that you didn't just recently get this person's car? But I also feel like the fact that he has her car, if he's had it for a year, if he had it for a year, it doesn't mean he killed her. But like, why with the gun in the car? And then how you doing interviews in jail? And then when they, it's so weird, girl. I don't know. Somebody
That
call
is
Daddy
weird.
Cochran. Oh, he did.
That is weird. I didn't even know he was doing interviews from the
Mm-hmm.
jail, child.
He did a whole lot. Somebody named Larry Reed live, because Larry Reed was asking him like why they pull you over, and then he was like, well, I'm an entertainer and I like to be myself, and I'm always buying cars here and there. I bought this car a year ago, and he did say the tail light had issues, but he never really said why they pulled him over. He just said, he specifically did say that I don't have anything to do with anyone who was supposedly missing. I bought this car a year ago, and the girl I got it from and her boyfriend was definitely alive when I got the car. So I'm like, if he had a car for a year and the girl who was registered to was dead, it doesn't mean he did it. That's why I'm like, it's so weird that it's like so many like unknowns.
Absolutely. What are your
When
thoughts, Bond?
they said Larry Reed, it's a Christian talk. It's a Christian Tasha K. Lord,
For me, Kerrion is like fucking scary. Like, let me start off there. Like, when you put the picture up, I kind of jumped a little bit. That nigga's
Ooh.
energy scares me. So even though when he was crying and shit, I felt the pain of that. And I feel like something must have created that. But I also feel like, I could definitely believe something sketch as it pertains to him. Because it doesn't even make sense for you to have a car that is not your own. Like, who the fuck is out here just getting cars from people without, properly doing it? I'm just saying, like, who the fuck even gets cars from other people like that? I just feel like it's so easy to go on a lot. Like, what are we doing? So that kind of just makes me question all of this shit. And then as it pertains to his dad, I feel like y'all definitely abused him. Like, I'm not even about to argue with y'all about that. Like,
allegedly,
huh?
allegedly.
Allegedly. Like, allegedly y'all abused him. Like, he said y'all abused him. They had a story about the mama being physical with him, and the way Kirk Franklin talked about him, and beating his ass over the phone. I just kind of feel like, based off of what we are seeing from him today, he absolutely shows up as a person that has been in some way, you know physically, like they physically used to beat on him. He's talked about that, like from a kid up until now. And honestly, when you grow up in a church, I feel like there's not a lot of room for people to be different or to have issues. You know what I'm saying? So I often wonder, how do people respond to kids they can't control in a church when they need them to act a certain way and look a certain way? Y'all gonna act like y'all people wasn't busting y'all in the fucking face anytime y'all acted a fool in church? Like, are we really gonna act like, that's not a thing in our culture? You know what I mean? So I just kind
Right.
of feel like, and I feel like being a celebrity kid, that always fucks people up, even to a certain extent, because they feel like they have to live up to some type of impossible weight. And then you find out your dad got a fucking, problem with porn, and your stepmama don't really like you like that. I just kind of feel like there's definitely room for compassion towards him and what he has said about his experience. Um, as far as being abused and shit, because I feel like that's how he showed up. But ultimately, he's an adult, and I think he is wilding out. I think he's wilding out. The show showed that, but it's from some deep rooted fucked up place. And I'm hoping that, people could turn their lives around. You want to say you want to pray on it, but I don't know if that's the exact words in this situation, because people probably been praying over it for a minute.
Well, there's that, Mr. Kerrion.